This is the area that's more prone to mold. Take a look at that, you see? So it sucks, I had to make 3 holes at the end of the day. You live and you learn. Unfortunately, I got a ticket, and I'll tell you guys why I got a ticket. Welcome back to the channel, but most importantly, welcome to gorgeous Nicaragua. And today I have to show you some bad news that we found in our cabin. We've been building this home out here in Nicaragua for the past 2 years. It is technically our first home we've ever built. And to add on top of that, it's our first home in a tropical country where humidity doesn't drop less than 75%. Humidity has gone up to 90% at some points here while it's raining. So that means a potential for mold growth, and we found it in our cabin, which really sucks. Let me show you guys, and I'm gonna show you the game plan of what we got going on to solve this issue and to make sure it doesn't come back. It's sort of a blessing we found it now before we move in. That means we can address the problem and fix the issues. Let me give you a quick tour of where we found it. So coming into the cabin here, you have the living room area. So this is where we're gonna have our couch. Then you have the kitchen area. And thankfully this whole area over the past few months that it's been like this, unpainted and wide open, we've never had any mold issues. So that is the good news. That means the airflow is good. We don't have to worry about this area here. Our upstairs bathroom is also the same, no mold issue here. But where we've had a mold issue growing has been in this upstairs room. And what is happening is that we have airflow coming from the window, and then it's stagnant in that wall there. So it has nowhere to exit. And this mold actually grows a lot more when the door is closed. So we've managed to clean it up and leave the door open, and it's helped a lot. But you can sort of see that it's coming back. Let me show you guys right here. Hopefully you can see this on camera. Take a look at that. You see? So that is the mold coming back right here. And right here, you take a look at that. So I've been reading a lot online, and there's a difference between mold and mildew. So I'm not an expert on it, and I'm calling this mold, but I do realize that there's a potential that some of it is mildew. But based on what I've read, I think it's mold, and based what it smells like. But I might be wrong. Comment below if you know and you're an expert on this. So that's the issue we're having here, airflow coming in and not escaping. So the air is becoming stagnant over here, and we have a little bit of mold growth right here. So this left corner here needs to be addressed, and we need to fix this before we paint and we seal the sheetrock, because we want to make sure there's no mold that stays behind in there. Now I'm gonna show you how we're gonna fix it soon, but I need to show you one more area where we're having more issues with mold down here, and it is the downstairs. Now the downstairs is a little wild, and before I show you this, all right, you're gonna look at this and you're gonna think, why did he leave that wall open? And I'm gonna explain to you why. There's a couple of reasons, but we are downstairs here, and check out this earth wall that we left open right here. You see this? This is the wall where the house is backed into. Now the wall itself, it's very safe. It's been like this for the past 2 years since we've built the home. It hasn't moved or budged. It doesn't smell weird or anything. I wanted to keep the wall for a couple of reasons. One, that wall has a lot of humidity. So I didn't want to cover the wall and then be battling with humidity coming through the wall into the home. I'd rather have left it exposed and then deal with the air circulation inside the downstairs and push the air out, and then make these a feature and make it an accent wall. So the game plan is this right here, where you have this little sidewall here. We're gonna have a bed here, so that's the reason why we put this here. We're gonna build a shelf there. We have shelving, and then here it's gonna be a couch. We're gonna have a couch hangout area, and then we're gonna put plants back here. So we're gonna put a bunch of plants in here to be able to bring this to life and also filter the air. So I really think that once we're done, it's really gonna tie in the room together, and it's gonna look super cool to have an earth wall in your man cave downstairs. So that's my idea, right? It's sort of crazy. I know, comment below, do you think it's crazy? But that's what we're going for. But unfortunately, this downstairs, because it gets less sun, this is the area that's more prone to mold. And now I did a test over the past few weeks. I haven't been in the cabin, so I closed everything up and I just came back today. So you guys are seeing it firsthand as I am here. And I opened the doors and we found the problem area. So the problem areas is the following. So we have wind that comes in through there. So where the wind comes in, there's no issue. But where the air stagnates means where it has nowhere to escape. That's where the mold is starting to grow. So this corner here is where we have a little bit right here. You take a look at that. You see? We have some right there. So this area is being a hot area for mold because the air comes and gets cornered here. So the cold air will come from the floor, it will rise and corner itself over here. And then this is our utility room where this door remains closed most of the time. And same issue here, we need ventilation out. So this whole side, left side needs a venting area to get stuff out of here to make sure that it properly sucks air from in there. So that's our main goal, to get clean air, nice cold air from in there. And as it rises, suck the air out. And then if we can figure and solve that, then we're golden, we can paint. So our goal here is to be able to install some vents and some exhausts and be able to see if that solves the mold before we paint, specifically for the downstairs. Upstairs, I know it's almost all good and we can solve it with these vents. I've been ordering some stuff off of Amazon and it's been arriving slowly here in Nicaragua. And let me show you what I got. These are all the boxes that we're gonna be using. We have some pass-through vents that lets cold air in and doesn't let air out. So essentially this will be my passive intake air. And then also I have some inline ducting fans that I'm gonna be using to pump the air out of the rooms. And hopefully we can solve this. And I think we can if we install this. In my opinion, it's not that bad. It may seem bad, but it's been maybe 4 months and that's all the mold that it's grown. And so that means that we're still early enough to solve this problem. And I'm actually happy we detected this problem before we painted the whole cabin, because that would have been a huge mess. And we also have the paint here available, so hopefully we can get some paint on the walls, at least for the downstairs, before I leave back down to the city. So let's go, my coffee familia. Let's attack the day. It's gonna be a long day, but I think we can do it. Let's stick around and comment below if you have any suggestions for me to see how we can improve this situation. Let's see if we can get it done. So we're gonna start with this wall here. We're gonna install 2 or 3 vents here and then 1 right here. This is the colder side of the walls, so it gets the least amount of sun. So this is where the coldest air is going to be and accumulate on the other side. So this is where the air will inflow. All right guys, let's take a look at something here. So I bought these off of Amazon. I did a lot of reading and ChatGTP helped me out a little bit there. But the goal here is to get good flowing air into the downstairs when I close the windows. So I had to leave the windows open so the air will flow, and I can't leave the windows open all the time because it rains a lot here, and so we have to make sure we have to close them during rainy stuff. So what I did is I bought air vents that let air come into the room when the windows are closed, so we always have good clean air inflow. And so check this out right here. So this is what we're going to be installing on some of the walls here. I'm about to show you the walls. And essentially the cold air, since cold air is going to enter through here, so it's going to be low on the wall, and then it's going to come in through here. So inside here it has a little vent that we're going to open and we can close whenever. So let's say if we do have it open, you can see that hole is open. So essentially the air will get dispersed. So when we turn on the ducting fan back there, you should be able to suck air across the room. That is the idea and plan. And like everything else in life, sometimes you have an idea and plan and you're probably gonna mess up a few times. So let's see, hopefully it's not too bad for us here. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's not mess up anything. So I messed up and I bought this one here, which is 6 inches instead of 4 inches. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to make the hole here by hand and make sure I don't mess it up. So we're gonna give a shot, give it a crack, see if we can make it work. So this wheel here is the same size. We're about a half a meter away from the wall here, so we don't want to be too close to the wall. And then from there, let's see if we can use a little bit of this. I really don't want to make the hole any bigger than it needs to be, so you can avoid any extra air leaking in or insects coming in. So let's see if this is gonna work. Oh, look at that. Look at that, the back, there's no mold in the back, which is good. That means there's no mold growing back here. It would have sucked if we found some mold back here. I'll do a test fitting here. There you go, look how tight that is. It's a tight fit. Okay, fits perfect. Let's see. This works right here. So we're gonna go out here, the construction zone, and we're gonna come out here and try to make the hole from out in here. So this is how I was referring to this wall, is the coldest wall, and there we have the hole. So let's see if we can make it work from out here. When you don't have the right tools, everything in life just becomes a little bit harder. This one's a little tougher because this one has a scratch coat of concrete, so it's a little bit tougher to break. Look, no mold in the back, which I'm happy to see. So what you're seeing out here actually is called dengla here in Nicaragua, which is essentially a cement board, and has a fiber coating around it, so it makes it waterproof. It's a very popular way to build here in Nicaragua, and so that's what we built the downstairs with. So it protects against the rain. Essentially, it's made out of sort of like a sheetrock, but for exteriors, you know. So let's see how well, moment of truth, how well we made this hole here, and if it goes through. So what happened, so what we realized now is that this is wider than the wall. So when I push this out, it sticks out too much. So we're gonna cut it to size a little bit, and then we're gonna test fit everything to make sure that it sits flush with the wall. It can't be sticking out of the wall. So good thing this is easy to cut. Just with the pair of scissors, you can do what you need to do with cutting here. And then I already measured it to the distance that we need to cut it. And so let's get this done here. It's wild, like right now, it's just cutting this here. I can feel the amount of air coming in. It's a lot more than the air we get through the window. I think it's gonna work. It feels good, the amount of air coming in right now. So that is actually a good sign that we're on the right path here. We just need to make sure we get the installation correct. We got no issues here with this, because we also have this part here that can serve as a, see, there you go. So we have this one here that will help us too, but fortunately we need to cut this here. All right guys, I got it cut right here. It is looking good. And so now that it's cut, it's gonna go like this. And I just measured it, fits perfect. So we're gonna take the measurement for the one that's gonna go inside right here. I want you guys to take a look at this here. Look, there's already tons of air just coming through here, and it is wild how much air just lets this inflow here. So I think it's gonna work. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the level up here, make sure it is leveled. After it is leveled, we're gonna add a dot where we're gonna make a hole. And add these little screw mounts here. Gotta make sure this is facing up, so this has a lever. See, that's gonna close the inflow and the outflow of the air. The next step is we want to make sure everything is nice and secure. We're gonna leave it open and closed. Then we're gonna add the filter so no insects come in. Then we're gonna put this here. There you have it. It is looking good, my coffee familia. And we're gonna go finish outside. Look at that. I have to say, working out here in the mountains definitely has its plus. And one of them is this gorgeous view that you get. Check it out. I just oftentimes look up. I hear parrots in the distance, ululas, chicharras. And coffee season's coming up pretty soon too, so I have to make sure we get this cabin done because we're going to be harvesting coffee and we're going to be very busy. So this has to be done so we can be moved in with the family. We can continue to make videos for my coffee familia, which is you guys, and we have to fuel this dream, man, because this dream is big. I want to make Nicaraguan coffee known across the world, bring more producers onto our online platform where we sell coffee. So we have a big mission to fuel, but together I think we can make it happen. So let's get this done here. I'm gonna do a test fit here, and look at that. I'm gonna put my hand inside. Oh wow, it feels pretty good. You man, you learn a lot of things while building a home, and specifically building a home in the jungles. You know, there's a lot of parts, components that you can't get into the jungles. It's so remote that the roads become impassable, and sometimes you just gotta make do with what you have. You know, you really don't have the luxury to make a Home Depot run. You know, you just can't. You just have to find a way, be resourceful, find a solution, and that's essentially what it comes down to, you know. Because at the end of the day, if you can't do that while you're building out here in the remote jungles, then you'll never get your build done. You know, you'll never finish. And I have to put a nice bead of silicone here. That way we don't have water coming inside. We'll protect it. No water can get in. If the water splashes inside, it comes out. I would consider this bad boy done. We still need to clean the wall and paint this side here, but we're gonna install the other two, and this wall I would consider done. But you can feel the amount of air coming in and going up there, so that we're making good progress here, and I think it's gonna help us a lot. So we're gonna put one more down there, or maybe two. We'll take a look. Well, at the end of the day, I decided to go with two more to make sure we have the proper inflow of air. So we're going to be doing one in the middle and then one in the side. Now that I got the hang of the first one though, things are moving pretty quickly. So we should be able to install each of them maybe like 25 minutes each. And there we can move on to the more exciting part, which is installing the exhaust system. And the exhaust system is going to be a lot harder because it requires electricity and positioning everything in the right place. But we're done with this. Let's move on to the next side of my coffee familia. Hopefully you can hear that in the back, but there's over 50 parrots in the back in those trees in the mountain there, and they're having the time of their life. It's a really nice sound, and it's cool to see them just going in and out, eating down at the lagoon. And it's super cool because part of the reason we're doing this is to protect the environment. And so we've been planting trees and taking care of the ecosystem. And just this year, we've seen multiple birds come back. And over 100, 200 birds just come nest down there where we protect the environment. So it's just a nice little signs that show that it's paying off what we're doing. Not everything in life is about just making sales, growing, and subscribers. It's about wins like that. You know, you really can't quantify them on paper, but you know you're doing good to the environment, to the community, and the impact when birds start to come back. You hear that? Freaking amazing. So we're gonna move on to the next installation here, my coffee familia, my dream fuelers. If that sounds right. Does that sound right? I think it sounds right. So next up, now that we got air going into the bottom of the room, so we have fresh air coming into that wall. I might install one more vent on the other side of the wall. I don't know yet. We'll see how it works. Now we need to find a way to get that air out of the corner where the mold is happening. And this is where this puppy is gonna come in right here. I found these online on Amazon for $40, and it's an exhaust fan that you can put in line. And it comes with ducting. So I bought a bunch of ducting that we're gonna do a makeshift exhaust fan to test how everything works. And if we can solve the problem of the mold growing, then we can put something permanent in place. So let's go downstairs. We're gonna bring everything with us, and let's get to work on installing that exhaust fan. Not sure how I'm gonna do it, but we'll figure it out here. All right, time to talk game plan here, my coffee familia. So this is the corner that's the problem with all the air is accumulating. So this is where we need to pull the air out. So I bought this air vent here that I'm thinking I'm gonna put it right here in the middle. And so essentially from there, it's gonna connect to back here where I'm gonna run ducting and put the fan in place somewhere along the line, straight out that way. And then here, I'm gonna have to put another ventilation system to get the air out of here, so that way it's independent from the room. So I think that should work. That's the game plan there. Let me look at a few things, plan it out a little bit, and then we're gonna go from there. The beautiful thing is that for this one, we have this right here, which is a 6-inch. So it should help me make sure I get all the holes done correctly without having to do the manual cutting like I was doing earlier. But let's get to it. We're gonna install this first, make the hole to come through, then we'll figure out the ventilation stuff, how it's gonna move. Wow, that was fast. A lot faster than I thought. Attach the ducting first. I bought this ducting here. That's flexible because we want to make sure we can run it. All right, I think we can call this side done here. It looks nice. You can open it and close it. So essentially this will be the driving force. We're gonna run a test. We're gonna clean all this mold when we're done, and then we're gonna let the system run. I'm gonna explain to you a little bit more how we're gonna run this system, but we'll give it a week or two to see if the mold grows again. If it doesn't, then we successfully did this. And then we can drink a cup of coffee together. So let me show you a little bit how this exhaust fan works. So here we have a remote, and then let me grab this fan here. So we're gonna plug this in here, and then we're gonna plug this into our solar bank here, our solar unit. And then once you have everything plugged in, it comes with a little remote for the intensity that you want to run. Like, these are great if you're building a greenhouse. Oh, look. That's a lot of air right there. Super strong. So this side is sucking in air, and you can feel it. And then you can reduce the speed, so we can run some tests to see the speed we're gonna run it. So where we're gonna put this here in line with this tube, we need to make sure that it's close to the connection, so that way we can draw power. We don't have to worry about it. So I'm thinking like maybe up here somewhere. I could probably withstand a little bit further down, but either way, I think along these lines here, we're gonna put this in line. Like, mold is one of those issues that you never want to worry about, you know? Like, you're at your home, you sleep there, you eat there, you're raising your family there. When you hear that your house has mold, it just sounds so bad, like horrific. And it can be it can be really bad if the case is like very severe, you know? So it's like, that's why when I saw this mold growing, I was like, oh my God, that's the last thing we want to see with us trying to make it to the finish line to finish this project. But then again, like I mentioned, it's a blessing we saw it now, so we don't have to deal with it later once we're done, you know? So it allows us the time to fix it and make sure that we have no issues once we move in, which is perfect. All right, guys, can you hear it? Oh yeah, you can hear it right here. Yeah. See, look, that's how much air is sucking it. That stays in place. Then I can close it here. Adjust the volume. It's gonna work, guys. I can feel it sucking from here. So that's gonna help us just whoosh, clear this whole area out. We're getting there, Coffee Familia. All right, now that we have the ducting coming in there, the exhaust fan installed, we're gonna install the fan exit point here at somewhere around here where all this air is gonna exit. And I'm just trying to get an idea where we're at here so we don't hit a stud. Make sure we don't hit a stud, because that would suck if we hit a stud, because I don't want to have to do any more sheetrock at work. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I hit definitely I hit a stud. So yeah, I ended up hitting a stud here. So that means I need to scoop my way all the way down here. So it needs to be at some point here. Good thing I have this here, so I can cover it up after and do some patchwork later on. So we're gonna save that piece. So we're gonna scoot over. We're gonna cut this down and then we're gonna scoot over. So we'll put the exit point right here. No, salió otro. There's another one. Guys, I hit another one here. So it sucks. I had to make 3 holes at the end of the day. And yeah, you live and you learn. But anyways, let's get to it. We're gonna repair that quickly. So good thing it has a place where I can secure the new one, and I already have the cutout. So I'll fix it before I paint and it should be good to go. But this is gonna be exhaust area for these units here. In Nicaragua has been a lifesaver. It was never like this 2 years ago. This never existed. It was such a pain because I would have to drive around looking for things. And now I just order and then receive them. So it's definitely worth it. It's been such a lifesaver here. All right, this time we pulled it on first. So that way we don't have to push the whole 8 meters through the hole. We just only have what we need through this hole here. That is good to go. That is where the vent will exhaust all the air out of. Whoosh. And this is where the ducting is gonna run through. I realized I bought the wrong thing. So when you're traveling inside walls, it's better to buy a 6-inch sleeve so you can just slide it in and it's easy. This is hard, but we're done. Let's move on. We are slowly getting there. We're just gonna tie a few things for support, make sure everything is connected right, and then we're gonna see the electrical side of things, how we're gonna handle all this electrical things. But first, let's tighten up a little bit of this right here so it doesn't hang around too loose or anything like that. All right, we got the system running and it's time to give you a tour. Let's check it out. We have the entrance here. So this is where the air will come in. So the inflow, it is at the bottom because that's where the cold air comes in. And then it's going to rise. As it rises and then moves towards the room, this is where we were having the problem where the air will stagnate and it'll create mold. But now we have this that is running. You can feel this just sucking air in, see? And so that is good. So we have that running. We wiped off with a little bit of Clorox all the mold to make sure that we have a clean point to start the project with to see how it does. And then coming through here, we have our cut through, our tie-ins that we're gonna replace later. If this works out, we're gonna find a permanent home for. And then we have the fan that is running right now temporarily with this connection. And then we have out here, the exhaust where it's coming out. So I'll say that is mission accomplished. This little fan should be able to circulate the room, the air in the room a couple times a day. So I'll turn it on and off like 2 hours a day to get things moving. But that really sets us off on a good note. And I hope no more mold grows. Please, Coffee Familia, help me pray out here to make sure that we're able to push forward here past this and we can get it painted. But we need a couple more things to do. The sun is going down. Take a look at that. We're gonna have to get dinner soon, but yeah, good day so far. The sun will be going down in about an hour. 5:30. It is winter here in Nicaragua, so the sun goes down pretty fast. So we're gonna brew a cup of coffee, see if we can put in a little more work before dinner and see how things are going. We still need to install the water here at the cabin, so we have no water. So every time I come, I bring water with me. Even though we have a water spring that where the water is born, the water has a lot of minerals, so it's good to drink, but it sits a little weird on my stomach. So I just need to get a water filter to continue drinking. And then I need to buy a water tank for the cabin to get the water flowing inside here. Now that's going to be an exciting episode. I'm thinking next week I'm going to be able to buy that tank and install the water in the cabin. And then we're almost there. After the water, we already have electricity. We're going to have it painted. You know, everything's going to be looking good. You know, we're slowly but surely putting this dream together. It's taken a long time, but Like everything in life, everything great takes a long time to build, you know? All right. So while the water is boiling, I want to show you guys something really cool actually that we've been working on. And it's something for you guys. So wanted a way to say thank you, Courtney and I, because you guys have been amazing drinking our coffee. So we designed these new stickers that we're going to be including in our coffee bag. And take a look at this. Look how cool it is. This is one design. It's a little flag that says beautiful Nicaragua and Emense Coffee. And then we have this one that has the symbol for the Nicaraguan flag and the volcanoes in the back. And it says specialty coffee, family, legacy, and community. So every time you buy a bag now, for now until the end of the year, end of 2025, you're gonna get a sticker pack. So we also have this one. Take a look at that cool one right there. And the coolest one that I like best is this one right here. Look at that. It's a magnet that you can put in your fridge. Let me give you a little look here with the sun facing this way. And they have a cool story actually, these sticker packs here. The cool story about these sticker packs, it's I had it designed by my friend Luca, who lives in San Juan del Sur area. So he lives in the south of Nicaragua. He's an artist, and he took a lot of time watching our videos and getting to understand what kind of videos we make and what would feel good with the channel. And this is how he came up with these beautiful stickers. So next time you order a coffee bag online, if you go to emmensecoffee.com or click on the link in the comment section or the description section, or maybe little product will appear in the video right now, and you buy a bag, you get a sticker pack and the magnet. I have one on my phone. Take a look at that. It's always a reminder of the dream that we're trying to build here. So all for you guys for the holidays. Go check it out. Go to emmensecoffee.com. Grab yourself a sticker pack before it's gone. After December, we no longer can include those sticker packs. All right, guys. Today we decided to go with an AeroPress since we want to make it easily and not have too much struggles out here. So let's go ahead and pour the delicious coffee straight from our farm. I want you guys to take benefit of that sticker pack there and what we've been working on. And then we're gonna pour that in there. And there she goes. Delicious fuel for the morning, guys. Look at that. I will say this coffee is not for people that are just looking to caffeinate or just drink coffee just to get that caffeine fix. This coffee, the way I look at it, is coffee with purpose, you know, because you have a dream yourself and this is the fuel for your morning. But when you drink this coffee, also you become part of this community here in Nicaragua, helping us plant more coffee out in the jungles, helping us do good in the community. So it's part of people that want to be, it's actually for people that want to be part of something when they drink that morning fuel and see exactly where it comes from, you know? Cheers and blessings. Man, nothing better than a nice cup of coffee out here in a chilly afternoon in Nicaragua. It is winter right now, so the weather is colder than usual. For people in California or maybe where it snows, you wouldn't consider this cold. Actually, you would consider this perfect weather. But for us that we're spoiled, we have summer year round. Once the weather dips a little bit, everyone's like, oh my God, it's sweater season, you know? But nevertheless, cheers, my coffee familia. Woo! So if you ever an avid follower of the channel, last week we did a granizeo here in Nicaragua, and that refers to pulling the first cherries that have ripened early. So we're gonna go check out a little bit of more of the granizeo that the team has been doing here over the past few weeks to see how things are looking. So we got some coffee here, and this is technically the very first harvest that we're seeing this year. Take a look at it. Look how nice it looks. Nice and clean. Very good quality, uniform. When you drink cheap coffee, like really cheap coffee, you drink a lot of coffee that has defected, that's not ripe properly, and that has potentially less taste. Actually, it does have less taste. That's why they give you like a very burnt roast to try to hide those bad flavors. But for here, since we care about the quality of the coffee, you can see how uniform it is, how clean it looks. So from this farm point right now, it's gonna have to go down to the city to dry because it is too humid here. So it's gonna spend a few days, and I gotta bring it down with me to dry it and then prepare for the next steps. And then it's gonna go to the States to make sure you guys can fuel your dreams, drink it in the morning, and be part of this team here. So it's a long journey, but this is the first indications of the harvest that's coming up here for this 2025-2026 harvest. We're excited. Good morning, my coffee familia. It is 7 in the morning here in this lovely day. And last night it rained really hard. And today it's very foggy. So humidity is at an all-time high right now. And we're prepping the walls. We were gonna paint a little bit, but hopefully the sun comes out. It's really early right now, so hopefully the sun comes out later, warms up, and the humidity dips. So we get a window to paint, and that would be amazing. Until then, we're ready to start installing the exhaust vent for the room upstairs. So that is what I'm working on right now. I'm gonna be taking off one of these planks here, and I'm gonna be seeing what's behind there to see if one of the exhaust vents can go there. So what is happening is this is technically a dead corner. So all the air from the living room, the window that comes in from here, stagnates there. So we want to have an exhaust vent there to push that air out and have the circulation throughout the whole cabin. Check it out. Now that I cut that out, that gives me enough spacing for the 6 inches for the duct, and gives me a straight opening for inside the house here. So it's amazing. That way now I can look inside and be able to see what we're gonna do here. So it's gonna be good. It's good and good. It is a 6-inch opening, so I'm gonna use this to kind of score the plank where it's gonna come out, because I don't think this is going to be able to make it through the wood. It's not intended for wood. So we're gonna score this, and then we're gonna finish it with the jigsaw. Alright guys, this should allow me enough room to slide this in and be able to install it. So let's go give it a shot. It's a little tight. If not, we're gonna have to come back and trim a little bit, but it's looking good. This wood is very, very dense, and it's hard to cut because it's a walnut tree. So it's very, very strong. But this little guy here, I ordered off of Amazon for $40, did the job. So yeah, sometimes you don't need to buy a D-wall, you know? So sometimes the cheaper ones work. All right, check it out, guys. It is looking good. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna use now the template, the drill bit, to drill a hole through the wall here. Then we're gonna install the outside, cover everything up. Then we're gonna move on to the inside. Slowly coming together, but look at the fog. It is wild how foggy it is right now. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to paint. We'll find out, time will tell here. But let's get this this hole done and the rest put back together. All right guys, so I've been struggling for the past maybe 40 minutes to get the fan installed, but I finally got it to a point where I think it's good. Check it out. You see the outside's good, and right here is ready to go. Now the wire is running on the outside, and the reason is because we're actually gonna tuck it in later once we confirm everything works. So if everything works, we'll cut the electrical in and place everything inside. If not, over in the store in the city, they sell little channels that you can bolt to the wall, and then you can run the wire. So we're gonna do a little electrical and then test it, make sure everything works, cover back the outside, and then this area is ready. So essentially all the air that comes from here and here is gonna be sucked through that fan up there. And the bad news though is that it's raining really hard and it's on and off. So we'll see, hopefully it lets up and we get to paint. I really want to paint, but here's the rain, unfortunately. Oftentimes Sometimes I think back to when I used to live in California and how my life is completely different now, you know, living in Nicaragua, trying to build a coffee brand, a YouTube channel, raising a family, and just living in overall a different country. And it's so different. Like if someone would have taken a picture of me 10 years ago and they would have showed it to me and said, hey, you know, you're going to be doing this, I would have never believed it. And to be honest, this life, even though it's been hard and it's been a lot of work building everything out, is so fulfilling that I wouldn't trade it for anything. When I was working in corporate America, my soul did not feel right. Honestly, I hated going to work the last few years of the job. At the beginning it was nice, but eventually I realized that the work is not fulfilling. And when you do something in life that's fulfilling, any type of work that's fulfilling, then your life becomes better because you're doing work that you love, you know? So building this farm and trying to do good in the community is something that really I find fulfillment in and has opened the door to that and to happiness. So even though you may seem like I'm struggling here at the farm and we run into mistakes, into errors, I realize that it's part of the journey because technically this is our first time ever doing this. We gotta sometimes slow down and enjoy this process because this is what it's about. It's not the end finale. If not, it's the process of getting there, you know? And so sometimes I forget that too because we have so much to do, but I always try to remind myself of that, you know? And it's no different today. Today, who knows if we're gonna get to paint, but as part of being in the jungles, you just have to adjust to the weathers, you know? It's gonna delay us, but it is what it is. We'll be able to make it up a day that's good, you know? We'll see. It's still raining out there, but we'll see what happens. If we can get the rest of the exhaust fans installed, then I would call that a win for today, because that way we're ready just to paint, and then we can run the experiment to see if all our solutions are working. That's what's important, because if they are working, then we can set everything up permanently, clean up the wires and everything. Because if it's not working, we didn't put the exhaust fan in the right location, then we're gonna need to remove the exhaust fan, run wires again, and cut other holes. So that's sort of why I'm waiting. But let's see if this is gonna work right now. Moment of truth, see if this exhaust fan is gonna turn on. All right, when I plug this in, it should kick on the fan or electrocute me. So. All right, nice, it's on. Let's check it out. Look, that is sweet, man. And so that means all the air here is being sucked out, and so this is no longer a dead corner. So we did it, my coffee familia. Take a look at it. We're gonna run it on a time schedule. I have these little timers that are mechanical timers that will turn on and off throughout the day. We're gonna see if mold still grows here or if it doesn't. So if it doesn't grow here, we have officially solved this problem here. All right, so now that we know it works, that is great news. We're gonna install this mechanical timers. Bought these off of Amazon for about $9 each. And then that little wheel that you see there, that's gonna turn it on and off whatever time we want. So there's a 24-hour window. I'll run it in the morning, afternoon, and at night to just purge out any moisture levels and get fresh air in. And then I think that should be enough. I think that should work. And from there, we can adjust how much we're gonna be running it and how much we won't run it, depending on the results that we get here. Interesting. Oh, there you go. So the exhaust fan is working now. So it's gonna run all the way up to 12 p.m. and then it's gonna turn off on its own, so which is amazing. We're bringing this one directly to town right now to dry because the weather's too humid and rainy right now, so it won't be able to dry here in the farm, but it looks good. I'm so excited. Harvest season is one of my favorite seasons in Nicaragua. The smells, the sounds, the weather, it's just so much energy in the air. All right, we gotta go take care of a few things in the city, so we gotta go run some errands. I'm about to bring you guys along so you can see a day in the life of building this farm out here. Currently we are renting a home out in the city, so since the cabin's not fully done, we have to travel back and forth, and today I have to go back because I need to do some things. So we're gonna get out of these mountains and go into the city. It's gonna be interesting to see how the weather's like and how everything's going over there, because up here it's just like a whole completely different world. The sun finally came out eventually right before I left. You can see it looks a little bit more clear, and it stopped raining. So it is later though, it's almost 3 p.m. so I don't think we could have even painted if we wanted to, because the sun was gonna go down at 5:36. But that's gonna be for the next day. I'm happy we installed some of the exhaust fans and some of the passive intakes, and next time we come up to the cabin, we're gonna see if it worked. If the solution worked, then we shouldn't have any more mold growth, and that would be amazing, man. So let's continue on, and let's continue with this journey here. Hi, Papi. Say hi to the camera. Say hi. Elliot does not want to be on camera right now. We're back in the city, and thankfully it is sunny today. Take a look at that beautiful Nicaraguan sun, and this is what we needed here. And it's not raining, so those are two good conditions that we need to dry our coffee. So let's set it up. Before we head out for today, we got to go take care of a few things. Unfortunately, yesterday on the way back home, I got a ticket, and I'll tell you guys why I got a ticket. So we got to go take care of that also, which kind of sucks, but at least it was only like a $15 ticket. But still, you know, ticket's a ticket, you know. Such an exciting time right now. Look at that. Look at that beautiful coffee. Each little bean here represents a dream there. So the coffee is gonna sit here for maybe 15 to 19 days while it dries. We gotta move it every hour, and then we gotta get it down to around 11 to 12% moisture in order for it to go to the next step. So it's important that we take care of these puppies here right now, because that means your cup of coffee is gonna taste delicious in the morning. I'm really excited, man. The energy in the air when it's coffee season is wild. I just love waking up, sipping a cup of coffee, and having this in the backyard, you know? So in the future though, I want to find a way to be able to dry coffee at the farm, because it's just not sustainable to go get only like 100 pounds of coffee 2.5 hours away. It just doesn't make sense. So we have to build some greenhouses at the farm. That's going to be further in the channel. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And the video's not ending right now, so please don't click away. We got to continue, go do some other things. Let's go. Oh man, looks like the electricity went out. There's a power line that ruptured there. Good thing they're fixing it. That was pretty fast though, because it just went out a few minutes ago. We're gonna go actually pick up a few packages. We gotta go get some Amazon packages and then go ask about the ticket situation here. It is a lovely day today in gorgeous Nicaragua, and let's go run these errands right now. Let's go. All right guys, first errand. Okay, package completed. Let's go. All right guys, now we gotta go get some labels printed. I need to ship some coffee down to San Juan del Sur, and we actually sell our coffee there at We Stay Lost, and they need a restock, so we need to label some bags and get them shipped. So let's go to the printing area to get that done. Hopefully they're open right now. All right guys, unfortunately the electricity is out here because the pole broke. So we're not gonna be able to print that. So we're gonna have to come back tomorrow. So we'll delay that action item. Now let's go to the police station. The reason I got a ticket yesterday coming from the farm was because this truck has a rack on the back bed so I can haul materials. And here in Nicaragua, you have to make sure your registration reflects that you have a rack on the truck. So as simple as that. I wasn't aware of it, and so now I have to go check out the registration side of things. So we're gonna walk in there, we'll see what they say. Hopefully it's quick. A good thing it's not a lot. I know in the States when I got a speeding ticket it was like $400. This is like 15 bucks, so it's more of a time thing. So let's go see what they say here. But now we know, if you get a rack on your truck in Nicaragua, make sure you update your registration to reflect that. Excuse me, donkey. Excuse me, donkey. Have you seen where Shirk is? So it's a new day today, and yesterday when I went to the police station, it turned out that the power was out at the police station. because of the breaker that had blown out in the pole that I showed you guys earlier. So I couldn't get what I needed done, but what I did realize was that I needed a smog check and a mechanical inspection done on my truck because it's almost expired, in order to pay everything and get all the paperwork up to date. So we're gonna take care of that, and then take two, we're gonna try to go to the police station again. Let's see what happens here. But it's another beautiful day here in Nicaragua. Christmas is coming up. You can look at those Christmas trees right there. So let's go see if we can get this smog check and mechanical inspection done right now. So it's a new day today, and yesterday when I went to the police station, it turned out that the power was out at the police station because of the breaker that had blown out in the pole that I showed you guys earlier. So I couldn't get what I needed done, but what I did realize was that I needed a smog check and a mechanical inspection done on my truck because it's almost expired, in order to pay everything and get all the paperwork up to date. So we're gonna take care of that, and then take two, we're gonna try to go to the police station again. Let's see what happens here. But it's another beautiful day here in Nicaragua. Christmas is coming up. You can look at those Christmas trees right there. So let's go see if we can get this smog check and mechanical inspection done right now. Let's see what they tell me. It is early in the morning. Hopefully they got some free open areas right now for this. Here, let's see. All right, so I just waiting for all the documents to come through. The inspection, smog inspection and mechanical inspection is done. So I'm about to pay. Then we're gonna head to the police. Hopefully we can get this done. Hopefully, man. These kind of things just take the whole day, you know. So just enjoying the view here real quick, and then we're gonna get going. Look at those beautiful mountains back there. That way is Honduras actually, and we are probably like 30 minutes away from Honduras. We're so far up north. All right, guys. Hopefully the station is not too full, and we can take care of business. But judging by the amount of cars that we have here, it looks like we're gonna have a long line. So let's find parking, and let's hopefully we can handle this. Guys, thankfully everything went smoothly, and I got all my documents. So my truck is now registered with the rack, and I have the most recent circulation, smog, and sticker. So we're good to go. We're good to continue for this coffee season, since we're gonna be pulling coffee out of the mountains. We need to make sure everything's in check. So we'll have to say that it's been a long 2 days, all the way from the mountains down to the city. We're always running around, running errands to get things done, and trying to build this channel, the coffee brand, raise the family. It's all a lot of work. So if you like this vlog, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys in next week's video. It's your Coffee Familia signing off.